What's going on, everybody? Happy days are here again for one more week. Good guys win 28-21 at home, keep the home record perfect, keep atop of the division by ourselves for the moment, and avoid the sweep at the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm happy. If you're watching this video, you're probably happy too. So how did it happen? Why are we excited? Why should we be excited tonight after a 7-point win against a heated, talented, capable, solid division rival? The team quite simply found a way to win despite all the crap that was working against them going into this one. For starters, before the game even starts, we get word. Damien Lewis is in at center. Damien Lewis, a guard. A guy who played guard in college. A guy who has played guard in the pros so far. A guy who is not a center has to play center. And we've seen this offense when we don't have a good center. It's not pretty. We saw it last year. It was not pretty. We saw it to a certain extent the year before. It was not pretty. So when I heard that news, I was wondering if I was in for something ugly. And you know what? Some of the snaps were not great. Damien Lewis, I love Damien Lewis. He's an awesome rookie. Everybody who watches game film of offensive linemen loves Damien Lewis. Everybody on PFF loves him. They consider him one of the best rookies in the league this year. I'm no exception to that. But it wasn't pretty all the time. He had a couple of rough snaps, including one that resulted in a fumble that, thank Jesus, we found a way to recover. Thank you, David Moore. The one good thing you did tonight, and I'm going to get into you later, but big boy. But, yeah, he picked up a couple of bad penalties. I'm not killing the guy because he was playing out of position, but it wasn't always pretty. But the team found a way. They found a way to run the ball tonight. Carlos Hyde was back, and he showed just how much we needed him to be out there. Competency at the running back position, understanding of your assignment, understanding of how to hit the hole, understanding of patience, burst, speed. It's all there with Carlos Hyde, even if he isn't the greatest player in the world right now. It's what DJ doesn't have yet. It's what Travis Homer will never have. It's what Bo Scarborough actually showed a little bit of tonight. I have to give the guy a little bit of credit before he got his legs torn apart. So, but Carlos Hyde, having him out there for those crucial 14 carries, it allowed us to be balanced. It allowed us to go back to a run-first offense, which you guys know how I feel about offense in the NFL right now. You guys know how I feel about what the way this offense should play, but now is not the time. Now is simply not the time. We don't have a healthy offensive line. We don't have healthy running backs. We don't have a healthy Tyler Lockett. And by the way, I want to say Tyler Lockett toughed it out there. I think you could tell on a few plays, and he played like an absolute G tonight. So huge props to Tyler Lockett for gutting it out there on a bad leg. But right now is not the time to advocate for the whole let Russ cook thing. We did exactly what we needed to do tonight. We restored some balance. We ran the ball into run-favorable boxes. We ran the ball on run-favorable situations, and it paid off big time. 165 yards. Carlos Hyde, the best game he's had since he got into Seattle. Bo Scarborough complimenting him well. This is the kind of stuff that we quite simply needed, and I can admit that even as somebody who is a huge advocate for letting Russ cook. This is what we needed. Russ not playing great the last month, a lot of turnovers, a lot of missed throws, a lot of mistakes. Go back to the basics a little bit for 1 week. Let Hyde pace the offense, run the ball a healthy amount, get a lead early on, and then use the running game to grind the clock down more. It was nice, and you guys know how I feel about offense in the NFL, so it was really a relieving thing to see that we were able to run the ball even without Carson. And I said before this game started, I said in my streams that Hyde is not the greatest player in the world, but his competency and his full understanding of what it takes to be a good running back in the NFL was crucial. And we got that tonight. DK Metcalf, I was really hoping he was going to go off tonight, and early on it looked like it was going to be one of those games, and this was another thing that was working against us. Early in this game, DK's already got a touchdown. He catches a 40-yard bomb on 3rd and 2, and I think it was Damien Lewis gets called for the most bogus holding call you will see, brings it back, takes a scoring drive away from the Seahawks, and we're punting a play later. Arizona comes down and scores a touchdown. So 10 to 14 point swing. So, that's for you guys that's for Tony Corrente or whatever his name is. Yeah, that's for you. Um, this could have been the DK Metcalf game the way things got started. This could have been a comfortable win, but that swing killed us. And if we had lost a close game, I would have been talking about that call for probably about 15 minutes straight in this post-game video, but we won, so I don't have to do that. So there's another thing that was working against us. 11 on 18, at least for that start. And by the way, a lot of penalties tonight, a lot of penalties. A lot of it was because we weren't playing with our typical offensive line. Some of it was just some bad discipline on the defense, and I'll get into those boys in a second. But yeah, we were able to overcome all the penalties, in no small part because Arizona had a lot of penalties too. It was a very flag-happy game. But anyway, as for Metcalf, definitely a giveth and taketh away game. 3 catches, 46 yards, a touchdown, drew a 50-yard pass interference penalty, which was basically gave us 3 points right before the half, but 2 drops, including an easy touchdown. The other one might have been a touchdown too, we don't know. But yeah, some big plays from DK. He also drew a 15-yard penalty on Dre Kirkpatrick, getting Dre heated about something, who knows what it was. So, yeah, giveth and taketh away from DK Metcalf tonight. That's really all you can say. He made enough plays to help this team win. Had we lost, he would have made bad plays that would have helped this team lose. So things worked out. What else? What else can I say about this offense? Jacob Hollister, great catch on a 3rd down to keep the final offensive drive of the game alive. Greg Olson had a big 3rd down and 10 conversion early in this game. That's the only kind of stuff that I expect from Greg Olson at this point. My expectations have just come way down from where it was early in the season. Of course, now we're going to get nothing out of him because, well, he's done for the career. Done for his career. You can take it to the bank. If you'll get somebody to cash a check that says Greg Olson's career is now over, try to get them to cash it because, yeah, that, tragic. Very tragic. Disappointed to see it, but I'm excited to see what Disley and now Parkinson can do, so there's a silver lining behind every rainy cloud, I guess. So, offense, they had stuff to overcome, and they overcame it today. Wilson played a clean game. It wasn't a huge game, but he made plays with his feet. He made plays down the field. He made most of the throws he needed to make. Very few incomplete passes today. Outside of maybe one play, he did a good job keep getting the ball out of his hands, and it was enough today. We didn't need to let Russ cook. We just needed to let Russ manage the game, and he managed it great, and sometimes that's what you got to do. In 10 days, we're going to get Posick back. Tyler should be 100%. We're going to get Carson back. Things are going to be a little different. But for tonight, managing the game was good enough. Offensively, my only real bone to pick is with David Moore. What in the hell was that game? Picked up a penalty on what was a 7-yard gain on 1st down, killed a drive completely because we punted a few plays later. Did not fight for a 1st down on a 3rd down reception where he just ran out of bounds for no good reason on maybe a yard and a half short of the sticks, and then complained about it like we all didn't see him run out of bounds a yard short. Yeah, I don't know what David Moore was doing today, but we're up and down with David Moore still. Some days we're here, some days we're here, and today we are certainly here. Not good. So yeah, it wasn't a great game from the offense, but they gutted it out. They overcame having their 3rd string center, if you can even call him that, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. We overcame some questionable play calls by Schottenheimer. One too many wide receiver bubble screens for me, especially late in that game. The pitch play to Hyde that almost ended in disaster on our final field goal drive, which could have completely changed the way this game ended. I don't know why you would do that. There were some issues because we lost Brandon Shell at the end of the game, and by the way, that's actually kind of a big deal. Please be okay, Brandon Shell. And yeah, definitely stuff to overcome tonight, and we did it. Defense. Okay. They did some stuff tonight. They had a great first quarter. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Look, I'm not trying to excuse the penalties, but one of the Cardinals' touchdown drives was on a drive where we had 30 yards of personal foul penalties. They were both good calls. I'm not denying that. Quandre Diggs, you got to be a little more careful. I know it was soft, but it was technically a good call. You can't do that. It looked worse than it was live, but still, you can't hit the player when the play is dead. I know it was close, and I know some people in the comments are going to say, oh, that was ticky-tack, but can't let that happen. And then Bobby, you can't grab on a dude's horse collar. You should know that. Let the dude go. It's not that big of a deal. Somebody else will make the tackle. Let somebody else make the tackle. Stop grabbing the horse collar. Ugh. I'm not trying to excuse that stuff, but that's something that can easily be corrected. That's something that I don't usually expect to see happen. Bobby usually doesn't commit horse collar tackles. I can't say that Quandre Diggs usually doesn't pick up personal foul calls because he's now picked up 2 in the first 10 games this year, but you know, that's stuff that you're not going to see that often. And when the team really needed it, and I don't like to put too much emphasis on making a huge play in the biggest moment. I think sometimes that forces you to miss the forest for the trees, but when we needed it the most, we came up with 2 big plays in the secondary. Quandre Diggs was in on both. Quandre Diggs tipping 2 passes away that would have been touchdowns. DJ Reed got involved on one play. Bobby Wagner got involved in the other play. And Carlos Dunlap, that was the best pass rush I've seen from a Seahawks player in what feels like 3 years. Just goes right around his man, almost gets held, still gets to the QB before Kyler Murray, of all people, could escape him. Beautiful, 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 beautiful with the game on the line. I love it. And you know what? I saw good stuff from KJ Wright. Amazing play on 3rd and inches to haul in Kyler Murray that created a field goal drive. I don't know how KJ does it, but he continues to do it. Jamal Adams, not his best game at all. He freelanced on one of the touchdown passes, the one to Chase Edmonds. It seemed like it was on him for not covering his dude, which, I mean, that's not going to look pretty on the study. That's not going to look pretty in practice whenever they go over it on film. But I do want to say this. The man created a safety with pressure that forced a obvious intentional grounding call. And that leads to L.J. Collier, maybe the pivotal play of this game. Not the biggest play of the game, but the pivotal play of this game, gets held in the end zone, gets a safety, gets the ball back to the offense. Offense drives down, kicks the field goal. It completely flipped the way this game was going, because at that point I had, you know, my head in my hands just anticipating the 98-yard touchdown drive to win the game. I was ready for it. And then L.J. Collier, I know it won't show up in the stats, but we all know he got held in the end zone, created that safety. On top of, by the way, the sack that he got earlier in the game. So I've been calling out L.J. Collier lately because he's a first-round pick who ain't living up to it tonight. He made a couple plays, and I'm still not in love with him. He's still not having the big impact that he needs to have, but right now I want to tip my cap to him. In fact, you know what? I'm going to tip a real cap to him because he made a couple of plays tonight, and I appreciate that. So at the end of the day, Trey Flowers still is unbelievably trash, and he had another terrible game tonight after a few games of looking competent. Again, Jamal Adams made a couple of mistakes in this game, especially completely blowing that coverage. Jordan Brooks got burned by Max Williams on a second quarter drive. Like I said, Quandre Diggs had the dumb penalty. Bobby Wagner had the dumb penalty. DJ Reed got picked on in coverage, although what can DJ Reed really do? He's, I think, 5'2". I can't believe how small that guy is, by the way. Ugh. But they found a way. They got a little bit of pressure on Murray, decent pressure on Murray. I'm not going to go crazy. But we got some pressure on Murray. We got pressure on Murray when it mattered the most, too. The last 2 plays of the game for the Cardinals, we ended that game by getting to Kyler Murray. That's really all I can say for this one, guys. It wasn't pretty. We made it uglier than it needed to be. If it wasn't for that crap call on Damien Lewis on our second offensive drive, this could have been a comfortable win. I will say that, but we had the opportunity to make this game much easier than it was. We had them 4th down and long on the first drive of the third quarter, and Quandre Diggs picks up the personal foul call. We had them 2nd and long. Later that drive, Bobby Wagner picks up the horse collar penalty. You can find a couple other opportunities where we could have seized the game, and we just couldn't quite do it. The pitch play to Carlos Hyde, terrible, ugly, awful. But with the stuff this team is working through right now, I can't expect that much more. So I'm happy. Not all of our guys, especially on defense, are playing as good as they need to, but they did make crucial plays in crucial moments to make sure we got this win. I give a lot of credit to them for it. And that's going to do it for this video. Post-game stream later, and then Madden after. I'm going to go take care of some stuff. Peace out. Go Hawks. Big win. Saved the season in some ways. And yeah, Arizona fans, if you guys are still watching, you guys got a good team, but we came out on top tonight. Peace out. Go Hawks.